Hey, welcome back to the JonnyCakes YouTube channel. Don't adjust your television sets. I am holding a plunger in my kitchen. Don't worry, it's never been used. Yeah, never been used. Oh, a pop and a fly. Oh, a hit and a swing. Oh, buddy boys on first base. Okay, hey guys. So I think it's thrilling to make cakes that look like things that are gross, like that you don't want to eat. Like the dichotomy, SAT word, between a cake looking not appetizing but tasting delicious. Come on, who could ask for anything more? So today we're making a plunger. We're gonna break this cake down into two parts. We've got the handle, which we're gonna make out of chocolate, and then we've got this part, which I don't know what it's called, but I'll call it the plungy. If you're a plumber, don't be offended. I don't know the terminology for this, but that part's gonna actually be cake. This is a template I made with a cake board. I just cut it into a circle shape. I went for a size a little bit smaller than the real plunger base because when we add ganache and fondant, it's going to expand and we want the cake to be basically the same exact size as a real plunger. I'm gonna lay it on top of my cake and then using a small serrated knife, I'm gonna cut around it. I'm very tempted to eat these cake scraps, but I'm gonna save them. We'll need them later for another part of this cake. Next, we have to cut layers of this cake. Again, I just wanna remind you, this is clean. So don't worry. We wanna basically get 2 layers that come up to this point on the real plunger. So what I'll do, kind of get low, and I'll start cutting away. Save this for later. First cut is the deepest, baby, I'm afraid. Okay, so the first cut is the deepest, as I mentioned. So now we have just about the right height, so I'm going to cut this in half, so we have 2 layers of cake. Oh, didn't see you there. Hey. So next we're going for this like tapered look. So that means just carving down the top of the cake, basically going for an approximate plunger shape. So now we're gonna start frosting this cake. I love using a turntable to frost, a little piece of clear tape, our template, which now will serve as our cake board, goes down, and we can go for it. Here's how we're gonna frost it. We're gonna put down a little layer of chocolate ganache onto the cake board. We'll put our first layer of cake, frost that with a layer of ganache. Pretty cake, swirling round a lazy Susan. Susan and I have a lot in common. We're lazy little girlies. And then add the top layer. We're gonna do a rough crumb coat of everything. All right, we gave this a rough coat of ganache. So you know what that means. It's time for the chill break. Cue the music, DJ. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Chill break, it's a chill break. All right, I wanna see if I can stick this to my face. Okay. Oh, I think my face is, oh, wait. It's gonna burst my eardrum, wait. Ow, ow, it feels like I'm in an airplane. You know. Oh, and you can like insert a, you know, that'd be fun. That's good YouTube right there. So I'm noticing already that this is a little too big. A little. I need to trim a little off the top. So if you have to trim, just make sure you put another coat of ganache on top and lock in those crumbs. Name, slaves, and label, baby, lock the doors and turn the lights down low. You know, you remember that one. So I was thinking about this little nubbin at the top of the plungy, you know, just staying up late at night thinking about it. And I realized I had this piping tip that is almost exactly the same size, a little smaller, which is perfect. So what I'm gonna do is build a nubbin out of our cake scraps. A nubbin. Just mix them up with your hands. This cake's super moist. Look at that. All right, we gotta do a final coat on this guy. And in the final coat, I wanna build the center up a bit. So a plungy is not an organic object, it's machine made. So we want this to look basically perfect. Like from every angle, it should look the same. And the acetate will help with that. Let's go ahead and attach that nub we made. We're gonna place it as center as possible. And then of course, we need to coat this with ganache as well. The smaller the cake, the harder it is to frost. That's just like a general rule with cake making. Alrighty, That's about as much as I can do right now. So what that means is I gotta chill and just let it set up a little. Chill break, it's a chill break. 5, 6, 7, 9. Me and Susan have a lot in common. We're lazy little girlies. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. That's it. That's been you've been a great crowd, Cleveland. Well, stop by the merch table on the way out. So while the plungy cake chills, we're gonna get the fondant ready. Now I've dyed this fondant a perfectly plunger color. It's a mix of red, brown, and ivory. We're gonna apply a little bit of shortening to our plungy. This will help the fondant stick, and it'll also like clear up any like imperfections in the ganache. So I cut a little bit of the top. That's gonna help release any trapped air. So now we're gonna trim the excess. Now that's satisfying. All right, so the last step is just to pipe a border around the base of the cake. So I'm gonna attach this with piping gel. I'm gonna smooth this to make it as even as possible. Okay, so now that we're done with the plungy portion, we're gonna work on the handy portion. This we're going to sort of cast in chocolate, which is really fun. It's like a solid chocolate handle you can bite into. Truth be told, we're not using chocolate. We're using candy melts, which are these little wafers. So I bought this long roll of acetate, and it's 4 inches like wide, which is perfect because we're gonna essentially wrap this around the real handle and tape it up. You just wanna make sure everything's taped down. You don't want any flyaways. Thank you, I have a tape girl. Tape girl, come on in. Thank you, tape girl. So that's pretty good. Now you'll notice this handle is a little wonky, and that's fine. I mean, that's what a plunger handle really looks like. Look at twinsies. Then I want to cut it a little shorter than it actually is. Ow! We're gonna put it back on. And then I have this molding putty that I'm gonna mold the like rounded tip of this plunger with. So that way we can A, have a stopper when we're pouring chocolate down it, and B, get the exact same rounded tip. Molding my tip, don't come in. Hey mom, don't come in. I'm molding my tip. It's not funny. It's really not funny, and I don't want you to think I think it is. I'm gonna let that set for like 25 minutes, and it'll be hard, a hard tip. Once this sets, you can just take it off, and you're ready to mold. So I'm using a mix of bright white candy melts and peanut butter. So the peanut butter isn't quite the right color, but when we mix it with white, it'll be perfect. So I'm gonna melt these down in the microwave, and then we're ready to fill. All right, so we're gonna take these candy melts and fill our piping bag up. Look at that, liquid gold. So I'm gonna snip the very tip of it. I want a really small opening. All right, time to fill our acetate mold. All right, we're gonna tap everything down as we fill. We tap, 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 tap. We wanna make sure we get this all the way into all the nooks and crannies. We're also gonna dowel this so that it can stick straight into the cake. That's gonna take up some space in this mold. I have a dowel. I'm going to take it, and it's gonna kick out some chocolate. All right, I'm going to let this set so it's like rock hard. That's gonna take at least a day. Well, it's been a full day. I'm wearing the same clothes and, ooh, morning wood. Here's what we have to do, right? We have to take a blade and cut open our acetate. It worked! That's so cool. Isn't that great? Oh, bye, we don't need you, we're done with you. So we wanna give this a wood grain effect. So I've discovered that steel wool does that. So we'll take the steel wool and give it a grain. Now you'll notice our shaft is a little lighter than the real shaft. I got a plan for that. So now I'm gonna use various colors of gel food coloring to actually like paint this chocolate. So I'm just painting this with some ivory gel food coloring, and what you'll notice is the food coloring really wants to go into those grooves we just created. which is perfect because it gives that like natural wood effect. All right, so there you go. A plungy handle. I think we're done. If I keep messing with it, I'm just gonna screw up what I did. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Now it's time for the plungy to meet the handy. All right, time to plunge into this cake. Well, there you have it, a plunger cake. I hope you enjoyed watching me make it. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Now, not to be rude, but can you get out of here? I'm having a private moment. Oh, this is what I meant when I said private moment. I'm not actually, not that gross. No.